Hello and hi, thank you for your interest in this project. Basically, I'm making this video. It's just a simple, PowerPoint presentation for you to better understand what I need in this project. Okay, just for your information, I'm a house contractor. So basically, I'm just giving you some sort of background of my problem currently. I do construction of bungalow houses. Usually, I make a custom design for each of my clients. Uh, I have quite a number of collection of the house plans. But then when I have many potential clients, if I were to redo all of them from the scratch without utilizing, at least I can show some of my early houses that I built that can match their land. So it will be easier for them to have a general idea of houses that can fit their land. Um, all right. So the first thing first. Okay. I will give you three situations in my case. This is a piece of land, a bungalow land. The first case scenario is if I have this piece of land, I have a road touching the land at this place, at this line here. Okay, since this is for the first situation, mainly for this situation, if the land is the middle lot, so only one road touching one side of the land. Okay, the second case scenario, I'm just taking the same land. The second case scenario is there are two roads. There are roads that touch two sides of the land here, and here. And then for the third case scenario, I basically this happens in the end lot, or you may say a corner lot, where I have roads touching three sides of the land. So this one, the first one, the second one, and the third one. Usually we define some of the site as primary road as well as the secondary road, because I would like to define because the rules of the city council is different for the setback. The setback is the area or the boundary that a house can be built inside the land. So I will explain about that later. All right. So this piece of land, usually in the land grant, we will be given a piece of land like this, and then we have a measurement in terms of the length, this 18.659 meter, as well as the bearing. We call it bearing 79 degree 30 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, so this is the degree. But then there's a slight problem because the degree varies in terms of where the E is taken from. So for example, for this one, 79 degree is actually if you take the 0 degree as this line here, start from here, okay, and then it will go like this, 79 degree. So I would like to standardize this. We take the degree calculation from the above line, all right? So this is the point A, point B, C, D, E. So each of the, what you call the corner, I assign an alphabet. And then I would like to define our degree starting from this above. We put it a line here, it's like an imaginary line. So it's 79 degree. If you look at B, the line here 160 degree, 19 minutes and 20 seconds is also taken from this line, 160 degree plus. Okay. For the C section, okay, if you see here, it says 70 degree, 18 minute and 40 seconds. The 70 degree is actually taken from here, from down here. So for us, I mean, to standardize, we would like to take the degree calculation or the bearing calculation from above here as well. So if I were to do that, I would take 100. This line is CD, okay, the line for CD, this one. I would take 180 degrees here, and then plus 70 degree 18 minute and 40 seconds. So I will get 250 degree 18 minute and 40 seconds for this line CD. Yeah, the bearing of the line C to D. Okay, so for DE, it says 340. 340 is actually taken from here, so we have no problem. So 340 is from here to here. And then from E to A, it says 29 degree, 57, 29 degree is actually taken from here, so no problem here. So only CD line that we have to determine, I mean to standardize, the bearings, okay, the bearing calculation. So we have the bearing calculation standardized here, okay, for the first one. All right. So here is just a rough or basic look of how the software should look like. I expect it should be in a better design, but this is just a rough idea. So probably here, just for you to understand here, okay, first one, it will show in order to draw a land plan, you need to enter the value of the length, meter, and its bearing. So this software must be able to draw the land from the picture I showed you earlier. All right. So say if we start with point A, I will have point A, and then I need to enter the length and the bearings that I already listed before this one. So for the A, so if I were to put the length and the bearing value, so automatically a line will be drawn by the software to the point B. Okay, similarly, if I were to put the input value of length and bearing of B, I will get a line drawn to point C, and so on and so on, until the loop closes. Okay, all right, sorry. So once the loop closes, I will have the option to go next. Okay, it should close if I were to follow all the bearings. I need to do this kind of drawing. The software must be able to do this kind of drawing because the land is not all the land is square. Sometimes it has some sort of shape, a pentagon, octagon, something else. So I need to be able to draw the land based on the length and the bearings that are given to me in the grant. Okay. So first one, I'll take for our first case scenario, the middle lot with one primary access road, which means I only have road touching the AB line here. So in the software, then it will list the lines A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E. If I were to have more sites, it will list them as well. Okay. So for the first case, select primary access road location. I can choose more than one. Basically, this will be used for our second case scenario. Okay, for this first one, I will just use AB. So basically, it will highlight this line, just showing me that the road is touching this line. So automatically, the AB for the secondary road, I cannot choose the secondary road of AB because I already chose the AB line as the primary road. Okay. And next, we have select local setback regulation. Choose one front setback and one for secondary setback. So we don't have to worry about secondary setback because for the first case, I don't have any. For the front, if I were to choose 3 meter front setback, okay, I expect the software will kind of like draw a dotted line like this, showing the setback. The setback is the boundary where the house can be built. So from here, it's 3 meter from line AB to this front line setback. And for the other sides that we did not choose, automatically it's 3 meter as well because the rules of the city council, basically, if you have a front setback, you determine the front setback, the other sides, the sides and the back setback will be 3 meters, automatically 3 meters. Okay. So in this case, all the sides are 3 meters because I chose the front setback is 3 meters. Say for example, I choose the front setback to 6 meter. As you can see, this changes. So the setback of the front parallel to the AB line here is now 6 meter. Okay, the other side is 3 meters. Okay, this one is, it changes a bit because it corresponds to this AB line. Okay, so this is for the first case. Let's say for example, for the second case scenario, the line EA is also a primary line. So I just have to choose from this option here, EA. So you can see here, I highlighted this area as the road touches this line as well. So the boundary corresponds to this one as well. The boundary is correspond to this one as well, to these three options for the front setback. So this one now is 6 meter as well as this AB setback for the AB line. The other sides remain 3 meters. It doesn't change. They don't change, okay? Okay, so once I chose that, what happened when I click next in the software, it will scan all the database, the house plan data in my database, and it will determine how many plans are compatible within this boundary, can fit within this boundary or the setback boundary here. Okay, so if I were to click next, I'm sorry. Uh, sorry, I missed this point. This point is you have to first set which line you want the house plan to be parallel with. I will explain about this later. Okay, so if I want the left side of the house to be parallel with BC, so I'll click this BC and the left side of the house. This is just a simple what you call simple drawing of the house with front, back, left and right side. This one is just showing the entrance of the house. Okay, so basically if I were to choose left, the left will be parallel to BC line. See, it will be parallel to this one. It will not rotate to this line. Okay, so when I click next, this time it will show the house plan that are compatible with my with my land or with this land. Okay, so here if I were to click next, so this is just a example. It may be say like if I were to have 50 house plans in my database, it probably says 4 out of 50 house plans can fit into the land. Right, this 1, 2, 3, 4. If I have more than 4, I can scroll down this one, something like that. And then this just shows keluas. Actually, it's in my language, in Malay language, it is just showing an area of the house, the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms. Okay, I would like to also be able to filter the results into house story as well as house bedrooms. So after I have these house plans, I can print them, print the site plan as well, the floor plan and the 3D view of the houses, and then I can email them to my client, and then I can reset. It's just to start the process all over again. So this is the basic thing of how the software should work. Okay, after this I will show several more situation, and then the background, or how do you say it, the behind the scene of how the software should work. Okay. So if I were to take the third case scenario, I just reset this one. For the third case scenario, I have a corner lot with 2 primary access road and then 1 secondary access road with 20 feet front setback. 20 feet is actually 6 meter. I think I just sometimes we use in feet. Sorry, but probably we can change to 6 meter. Okay, 6 meter front setback and 6 meter secondary setback. So I just choose AB and EA as my primary. So this one I choose DE as my secondary road. So it will be highlighted in blue, this one. So 6 meter for front setback and 6 meter for secondary setback. Okay, and then you can see here I have 6 meter setback. The distance between the setback boundary for this line, they are uh, 6 meter each. If this one to be 3 meters, this it will close this line down. It will be it will be closer to this line. Okay. So same here. So if I were to choose next, it will I have to choose the line parallel to the house plan first. So same, I'll try this one BC and the left side of the house plan. Then if I were to click next, probably because my boundary is now smaller, I may be able to fit less houses than before. Okay, so this is just an example. So probably before this, with the boundary bigger, I can fit four houses matches the land, but now only 3 houses matches the land. Okay, same thing here. So okay, if you see this here, show site plan button, and I have floor plan and 3D button as well as open folder button. I'll show what that means. If I were to click show site plan button here, basically, okay, this will show a picture of this plan and how it fits inside the boundary. Okay, like this. It shows how it fits inside the boundary. Okay. The other plan probably have different kind of floor plan outlines. So this is for this plan. So if I were to go back and show, I were to click this floor plan and 3D button for this house B10-001A, it will show this floor plan as well as the 3D view of the house. This should be better, I mean, design. I just put it all in one view so that you know what I mean. So if we were to go back again, then open folder, if possible, I would like okay, the database should be uploaded inside the website, but for my staff, we have a Dropbox folder for each of these plane. So if possible, I want this button to connect to our folder inside the Dropbox for this particular house. So if I were to click this one, just for example, I will get, it will open the folder for this plan in my Dropbox folder. Okay, I probably can define the location of each folder for the plan. So that's the basic operation of this software. Now I will show you how I'm imagining the back end should work. Okay, let's start with the house database. Okay, say if I were to take this one, this house floor plan. I don't know. I think if we can use the same how do I say, the same system to draw the land, I would like to define the boundary, because the house has, I don't know, so the shapes is not exactly rectangular, but the outline, at least if I were to be able to do something like this, to rectangulize this one and then have some irregular shapes here, but the general one is kind of rectangular, but I would like to be able to define some sort of basic shape. I don't want the rectangular to be like this here, because basically if the rectangular is, you're taking all the maximum distance. So basically if the line, the land touches here, it already cannot fit inside the land. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, but something like this first. So if I can define this house plan into these lines, I also would like to define each one of these lines as the front side, the right side, the left side and the back side. This one will be used like before to align these sides of the plan parallel to the sides of the land. Okay. So assuming this one is the entrance, yes, this one is the front, so this one is the entrance. So before this, I have a slide showing that my, if I'm not mistaken, CD line must be aligned with the left side. Okay, so must be aligned with. Okay, I will show you next one. Okay, this one. Okay, I have a picture of that. Okay, so I take this scenario. We already have our boundaries here, setback boundaries. Okay, so next one, BC. Sorry, BC. I want it to align with the left side like this. So what will happen? Okay, this process happens in the background. It is not shown when we are running the software. Okay, so what happened is the line. Okay, this is the left side of the plan. The yellow one here. Okay, I just go to the previous slide. So hold on, this one. Yeah. Okay, that's what I mean. So the left side of the plan must be on top of the BC boundary lines here, the BC setback line here. So it must go there first when I determine this one. Okay. So what happened? The software will first do something like this, and then it will scan. If there are any portion of the house exceeding the boundary lines, so the software must shift the whole floor plan to the left or to the ups and to the downs. They must search the location if the floor plan can fit inside these boundary lines. Okay, so for example, it will be like that. This, okay, it will move uh, in the background process. So if it moves to the left, no portion of the floor plan exceeds the boundary lines. So the plan can be used for this land. All right. And then the software will scan the second house plan, the third house plan, and all the floor plans, the house plans available in our database. And then it will show how many plans are actually compatible with this land, given this one. So if I were to choose different lines to be parallel with, we will see the difference, right? This one, I have to move all the way to the left. Okay, sometimes, okay, I just reset this one. I need the DC CD line, okay, to be parallel with the back side of the house. So when I click that, in the background process, you see now the green line or the back side of the house is aligned to the boundary, to the boundary that is parallel to the DC line. Okay, this one exceeds a little bit, but then the software will process such that the plan will move to the left and up and down or down until it can find a suitable place for the plan to be inside the boundaries. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you see the difference here. Only we just move a little bit. We don't have to move all the way to the left like in the previous plan. So this is important. I need these features because sometimes you need to align each side of the plan to certain side of the land boundaries. Okay. So all this happens in the background. This is just one plan. It will scan the second, the third, the fourth until all the house plans in the database are scanned. All right. So basically that's it. Okay, that's the end of slide. If you have any other questions, just drop me an email. I also will give you a different kind of land for you to work with, as well as probably I'll give you 5 to 10 different plans, house plan with floor plan and 3D views for you to work with. All right, that's all.